So my sister gave me this used tin a while back, and when you sent me this question, it sparked a beautiful idea. Composting is when you use yard debris, grass, leaves, kitchen scraps, paper, manure, straw, hay, wood chips, or sawdust, and you turn it into a nutrient-rich soil amendment. It's beneficial because it's like an immune booster for your soil. It helps to resist pests and diseases, it enriches the soil, and helps it to retain moisture. What happens is a community of microorganisms feed on that, and they break everything down, releasing valuable plant nutrients. You want to try to avoid proteins, fats, and dairy because those take longer to break down and could potentially rot, mold, or if you're composting outside, it could stink and draw unwanted guests. And I'm not talking about the man selling windows. So as the microorganisms feed on these scraps, the temperature of the compost will rise, which is what makes the container so important. And then after so much is broken down, the temperature will drop back down, and then you will now have cured compost that you can use for your soil amendment. The container is just as important as it is forgiving. A good compost setup requires 4 things to work: water, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon. So you want it to be able to breathe and get rain or water, but you need to keep it contained also in order to get a temperature. Outside, I use a couple old trash cans with holes drilled in the bottom and in the lid. Some people spend crazy money on compost containers. There's open composting where you just throw scraps in a pile on the ground and let it go. And I've seen people make round bins out of hardware cloth. It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive. It just has to be environmentally accurate in order to end up with compost rather than a 50-pound chuck of stinky, moldy material. Making your own soil amendment doesn't have to be expensive, complicated, or scary. So, here's a list to get your wheels turning. Happy composting, microfollowers.